All right, so earlier today, Vice President J.D. Vance saying, just a short time ago, in fact, that crypto and Bitcoin are part of the mainstream economy. And by the way, they are here to stay. Joining me now from the Bitcoin conference where Vice President Vance spoke, Florida Congressman Byron Donalds. And Congressman, thanks for joining us. Just want to get your sense of the feel there. It feels electric right now over there.
Listen, it's really electric here. This conference, it's one of the biggest I've ever seen. Great conference. So many people here, all walks of life, trying to get their foothold in the next wave of America's economy. So I agree with Vice President Vance and with President Trump. Fintechs, digital assets, Bitcoin, crypto, stablecoins, it is here to stay. It's only going to get bigger from here.
Over the weekend, I was in Miami, and I could see, it's just a transformation over the last 20 years. And you were saying, hey, you ain't seen nothing yet. You want to make Florida the financial capital of the world.
Absolutely. And because one, digital assets has already found a home in Miami and it continues to grow. Two, in Florida, we're going to make sure that Bitcoin has a piece of our reserves, and we're going to hold some of that in Bitcoin in Florida. Three, we want to make sure that we are the innovation hub when it comes to digital assets, crypto, stable coins, fractionalized exchanges. And I think this is one that most people aren't really thinking about. A fractionalized exchange where you can token real world assets, where people who are at any part of our economic spectrum, if they have dollars, they can actually buy a piece of some of these great companies. Very different than stocks. You can buy pieces of real world assets that are tokenized, really revolutionizing economics, democratizing economics. And so Florida is going to be the home for that. That's going to be the goal as the state's next governor.
Are you surprised at what you've seen in just like the last 3 years? With first, there was this massive resistance, particularly from Wall Street and from a lot of politicians, and now all of a sudden everybody wants in on the act.
I'm not surprised. Listen, first of all, everything rises and falls on leadership. So when President Trump last year at the Bitcoin conference said that he wanted to be a president that will allow Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies and digital assets to flourish in the United States, that was a signal to everybody else that the time of trying to live in the past is over. Let's actually embrace the technology. Let's embrace the future. Let's lead and make sure that we are regulating, but in a sound and appropriate way, not doing what the Biden administration did, where you had Operation Choke Point 2.0. You had them using the agencies to undermine this industry, when the truth is they didn't know what this industry was. They didn't know anything about it, but they were just scared of the future. Donald Trump has led, and that is why people now are saying, you know what, let's get in on this at the ground floor. Let's make sure we have a thriving digital assets economy in the United States.
Hey, speaking of leadership, President Trump saying, I'm taking Fannie and Freddie public with implicit guarantee. This is another area that you have talked about. You have talked about Freddie and Fannie for a long time. Your thoughts on this latest development?
Listen, I think that the time has long since passed. This is the right move by President Trump. Look, these companies, these institutions, mind you, they used to be public. We know what happened in 2008. They went into conservatorship. It's time for them to go back out to the markets. Let people invest in them. Let them actually live and fall under their own weight. The one thing that we have to make sure is that the credit quality at Fannie, at Freddie, remains sound. We cannot go back to the era of the late 90s, early 2000s, when they were letting just any type of underwriting happen, which meant there was really no underwriting. We saw what that did to our economy. That's the stuff that you can't do, but they need to come out of conservatorship, let them get back in the public markets, let people have a piece of that action.
Yeah, it was all the Community Reinvestment Act and social justice, and it put the entire industry in jeopardy, and of course Wall Street did their part as well. I've got to ask you about the budget. Musk is upset with the DOGE parts of it. There are other Republicans who are upset with the spending part of it. How do you see it being resolved?
Well, look, the Senate now has the bill. They're going to make some changes probably. At the end of the day, I think everybody loves the stuff that's in it. President Trump's tax policy, we made so much of it permanent. New items he campaigned on, no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, 100% expensing, that stuff's all in the bill. Great stuff. Securing the border, modernizing the Defense Department, making sure that Tom Homan and Kristi Noem have the resources and the bed space to send criminal illegals back home to their countries, getting out of the United States. That's all great stuff. But we have to manage our long-term fiscal obligations. We cannot turn a blind eye to that. The Treasury auction that happened about a week ago, when we saw the 20-year bond go over 500 basis points, going over 5%, that is a signal to every elected official, not Republicans, not Democrats, to all of us. We have to get the fiscal house in order. We cannot let the United States go down this road. If the bond market starts raising interest rates on us because we just can't be responsible, every American will suffer. The Americans who suffer most, those at the bottom end of the economic spectrum. And Charles, I know I'm running long, but I want to illustrate this point. People need to understand Treasury rates are the floor for every other rate in our society. So people shouldn't just look at that and say, oh, well, it costs 500 basis points. No, that means car notes go up, mortgages go up, business loans go up, corporate debt goes up. It happens at every level. We have to get the fiscal house in order.
Well, you're the man to do it. Your leadership in the time that you've been in D.C. has been absolutely remarkable. I appreciate you coming on. You're at the forefront of a lot of exciting things. Congressman Donalds, thanks a lot.
Thank you.
All right, see you real soon.